Hello guys, how are you doing today? My name is Nonso and I'm here to talk to you about leveraging digital technologies for economic opportunities. So first I would like to start by saying that this is not a talk on AI, how AI is going to change the world, or maybe how to invest in Bitcoin or some blockchain resource of that nature. No, this is about digital technology, and yes, we might touch on those, but it's really about economic opportunities. And there is a form of there is digital opportunity in every economic endeavor that you or someone you know might be operating in right now, right? So I'll just start with a little bit of introduction about the topic and how it can really help you and why you should care. So first of all, why should you care about digital technology or even the economic opportunities that might arise from those? And the reason you should care about is because World Economic Forum in 2015 said that 60% of the global GDP would be digitized by 2022, which is next year. So that means 60% of the global GDP will be digitized by 2022. And I think it's something you should care about, especially if you have a smartphone, if you use the internet, if you use WhatsApp, if you use Facebook, if you stream on Netflix, if you watch something on your TV, it's something you should care about. So first of all, what is digital technology? So digital technology just talks about software, electronic systems, data processing. Now data processing, don't just think about it as Excel sheets. Everything around you is being data processed, from your ATM cards to to your Excel sheets too, obviously, right? But it's beyond that. Everything around you is data, right? And everything is taking in data or giving out data. So that is digital technology in a nutshell. And examples of them are your smartphone, your computer, right? The software is on your phone, your electric cooker, yes, because that is programmed, right? So they are all around you. Digital technology is all. Now let's go on to what exactly are the economic opportunities. First of all, let me show you how I'll guide you through this topic. So we'll begin first by introducing the topic, which I've done already, and then I'll tell you about the economic opportunities, and then I'll also show you how to leverage on these economic opportunities, demystifying what it means, right? And then also telling you what it does not mean, and then provide you a strategy guide that you can use to leverage on your economic opportunities that you find around you. Right? All right, so let's get started. I've already talked about digital technology, then being electronic systems, software systems all around you, internet that's all around you. And then spoken about the economic opportunity. So where exactly is the economic opportunity in digital technology? And I would like to say this is because the digital technology around you, and the reason why you should care about it, and the reason why you should begin to get involved in it, is because they raise the productivity of the marketplace. And that's why everybody is moving from, I can remember when we were using typewriters to now everybody's using a computer of some sort, right? I remember now people are transacting their business via WhatsApp, via Instagram. It is increasing the productivity level. It is raising the game field so high right now, right? And that's why a lot of companies are moving to digital technology. It also increases efficiency. Think about how efficient it is to send a mail instead of writing a letter, going to the post office, dropping it, waiting for it to get to the destination and getting a reply back. Think about the efficiency it gives you to just stream on Netflix and not go borrow from movie from maybe a rental store or something like that. Right? Think about the efficiency in the workplace that's being brought in by digital technology. Also, it lowers transaction cost a lot. I mean, that's why we make transfers from our phone instead of going to the bank, because it's cheaper. If they charge you 15 naira, but it's still cheaper than waking up, taking your bait, going to the bank, queuing up, and doing all of that follows. Even your transportation is actually more than that, right? So it lowers transaction costs for the end user and also for the organization, because even the bank saves money. They don't need to print more tellers, they don't need to do all of that, and they need Maybe some near time in the future, they might need less tellers to attend to if everyone is using digital technology to make their transfers. And it also encourages rapid innovation. Think about how many people have really risen via Instagram, via Twitter, via TikTok, and all these other channels, risen out of obscurity, right, to being prominent, to being known, right? So it encourages rapid innovation and it fosters for more robust competition. I know a lot of people selling things online, doing things online. Everybody's moving online at this point, right? So there's this robust competition that's coming up that wouldn't have existed if there was no digital technology in this space. Now, the question, how do you leverage on this at this point? So first of all, let me start by saying what it is not, first of all, right? So it does not mean you should invest in Bitcoin or blockchain or something like that. I am not advising you for or against it, right? But it doesn't mean that. When you hear digital technology, it doesn't mean you should go buy something, maybe some multi-level marketing deal or something like that. No, that is not investing in digital technology, right? It doesn't mean again that you should change your profession. Please and please and please. It doesn't mean you should become a software engineer like myself, or you need to go and learn how to code, or you need to go and learn something like that. No. So please remain. If you like what you're doing, remain there. If you don't like it, then change. But do not change because you feel you want to become an AI expert to bring some kind of revolution to the earth. Except that is your grand design and your big dream, then that's fine. But not just because, hey, I feel this is the next big thing and I want to get into it. You can get into it from your own business domain. You can get into it from the economic activity that you're currently carrying out, right? If you're a military person, and the good part about the internet is that it was an open source military project, right? So by open source, I mean something made free for the public to use. The internet that we are currently using was an open source military project. All right. So for that, so it doesn't mean you should change your profession. It doesn't mean you should invest in Bitcoin or blockchain or any of that, right? So now, what does it mean? What does it mean? In the opportunity in every economic, sorry, let me take that line again. Every economic opportunity is created, right? So this implies some element of creativity. Now, what that means is you need to be creative in your own business space, in your own business domain. You need to ask yourself, what do I need to do at this point? And how do I do it, right? And then you need to invest time. Time is a major investment at this point in time. You need to invest time to create your own path, your own strategic path to your economic opportunity, right? Via digital technology, but to your own economic opportunity. And a lot of people are, in quotes, scared that they will lose their jobs or something like that, that AI is going to take away jobs and all that. But according to the third law of physics, energy is neither created nor destroyed. It's only transformed. It's only changed. So jobs will neither be lost or gained. They will only change form. And the question here is, are you ready? Are you adapting to the way that work is going to be done in the future? Or work is being done right now? Because most people are still working from home, or there's some kind of hybrid organization around how they work, right? So I present a 6-step formula. The 7th step is for really highly motivated individuals, but it's really a 6-step formula by which you can really take up your own digital technology innovation, your own strategy, your own path, right? This is essentially what I want to help you create. So the first ground level that we all must play is in digital literacy and skills. You need to have the skills and basic typing skills, basic computer appreciation skills, basic computer skills, really. And if you don't have this, then you've not begun the game at all, right? So you need to go learn how a couple of things work. Go on the internet and just type in something like computer appreciation, how to operate a computer, how to manipulate a computer. You have to know how it works. You have to know how to turn it on, turn it off, open the software, close it, do some stuff in this particular software. So it's just basic digital literacy, basic digital skills, right? So after that, you now need to understand the solid infrastructure. Now, the solid infrastructure talks about the hardware part of things now. So you need internet connection. If you don't need, you need to get a router, or you need to get some form of modem or something like that. You need hardware, you need computer, right? You need laptops, you need a phone at the basic base of it all. You need a phone if you can't afford all of this. So you need a basic hardware. So because we can't talk about digital technology, at least for a start at this point, if you don't have a phone, a smartphone for that matter, that you can use, right? Now you need a service infrastructure. Now it depends on your economic activity, right? Now the service infrastructure is the one that gives you value of some sort. So you need to think about what you do and the kind of service infrastructure that you might require. So let's say you are in a government space. And just an example, you might think of, okay, we need some form of e-governance around what we do. We don't want people coming to the office. Say we want people to be able to renew their driver's license from home. You now need to think along the lines of the service infrastructure that you need. Of course, you now need to think about the hardware infrastructure. So, okay, it means people at home need to have their own computers. People in the office need to have computers too. We need to have internet connection and all that. So that's a solid infrastructure. But the service infrastructure is how will that operate, right? What is required for this next level of progress that we're going to, right? So what is service infrastructure for your own business domain? What can you do? Where can you do it? How can you do it? Right? Now, after the service infrastructure, you need to now develop or adopt a digital path. Now, what that means is you can say, you know what? I know what we want to do. This is our service infrastructure. So let me look for a software that does this already. Possibly somebody has worked on this, maybe not in the country, maybe somewhere abroad, right? You want to import. So that's when you're importing a software system or something like that into your own organization, right? You are adopting it. Or you might say, you know what, let's develop something. It's going to look like this, it's going to look like this. So you have a sketch of something like a prototype. You know, what about if we do something like this? What about if we automate these couple of things in some kind of directions? You're not trying to automate everything in the office, but maybe some key parts, key business results areas that you know that, you know what, if you automate this, it's going to bring, maybe you're going to drive higher efficiency, it's going to drive higher innovation, it's going to make you more competitive, because that's where, when you're trying to pitch your idea to maybe your boss or something like that, you need to tell him how it's going to make the business more profitable, or how it's going to save them costs, right? Possibly they are running a lot of costs since they are doing a lot of paperwork. You might need to say, okay, we can automate this, we can do this, we can do that. And you can then go out and source for maybe a software application or a service that does something like that, right? So when you see something like that, you can now adopt it, and if you don't see, you can now develop, right? So the fourth part is developing such service infrastructure. Then the sixth part is the soft infrastructure. And the soft infrastructure is not really the software per se, it's about the trust people have in the system, right? Remember when e-commerce first came out, a lot of people were scared about putting their credit card online, or doing things like that. So you need to create that ambience of trust. There's also threat of cybersecurity risks, so you need to also put that into cognizance that, okay, we know that these things exist, but this is how we are mitigating these risks, right? These are the things that we've put in place to mitigate these kinds of risks that can happen. So people can trust the system, especially the elderly. They can trust the system and say, okay, yeah, we can adopt this for our next maybe financial circle or something like that, right? So that's the soft infrastructure, and that's the fifth part. So let me go over this again. So the first is digital literacy and skills. That's the basic. You need to know how it all operates, how it comes together. Then you need to understand the solid infrastructure that you might require. If you're in your workplace, you are doing some form of economic activity, do you have the solid infrastructure? Do you have a laptop to do your transactions? Do you need a POS? Because a POS is a form of solid infrastructure too, right? You need a POS to make payments faster. You don't want people saying they don't have change, or they don't have cash with them, or something like that, So a POS is actually a solid infrastructure too. right? Then you need to understand the service. What service do you want to provide and how do you want to go about it? Now, once you understand that service is the third layer, once you understand that, you will now go into either developing or adopting a digital service, right? So if you say you're an accounting firm, you can maybe adopt, there are a ton of accounting softwares out there that you can use, right? Or maybe an accounting department, you can say, hey, we can use Accountia for our accounting purposes and all that. It simplifies your work, right? So that's actually a digital service that has already been made and that you can adopt easily. Then if there's none that fits your economic activity, you can now develop something, right? And then there is this larger part of soft infrastructure that I spoke about earlier, which is the trust. What are the risks involved? How do you mitigate them? Right? How do you create an ambience of trust around your systems? So the sixth part is digital society and emerging technologies. So you now need to look at a perspective of your application, which is what are the emerging technologies that I can take part in? What are digital societies that we can create? And don't let digital society fly off your head. A WhatsApp group is a digital society. A Telegram group is a digital society. A Facebook group is a digital society, right? So when we're talking about digital societies, this is what we mean. Maybe you want to create a small digital society to start up what you want to do. You can create a WhatsApp group to maybe test your ideas. Depends on the context of your own economic activity, right? But you can actually create a digital society and see how it works. Create maybe a marketplace meetup or something like that and see how it works. And then from there you can now scale that. And then the seventh part is where people like myself play, which is indigenous content development and adoption. So this is where a lot of the software firms come, right? So you want to build something indigenously, you want to build something from the ground up, and then you can say, okay, I think this is what we need, this is what we want, and then you can contract software firms out there to really come and build it for you, adopt it for you, maybe train the requisite people that need to be trained, and then have that all working together, right? So step 1 to 6 you can actually do on your own. It's only step 7 where you need indigenous action that you might need to involve a third party. But you can start with little innovations and don't make a big leap forward. Just start with small things that you can test, small easy things that you can test. Why don't we do this in this office for a start? Maybe use an Excel sheet to automate a couple of things. Maybe your guest book, maybe your attendance sheet. Use an Excel sheet to start up that. And then from there, you can say, this Excel sheet is fine, but maybe we now need a more automated system to help in that attendance, right? Maybe we need a more automated system to do this. So it always make a gradual leap forward. Don't just take a giant quantum leap and jump to the future, right? Because people also need time to adopt some things. So that's the soft infrastructure we're talking about. Some people might not know what's happening here. We used to possibly say they used to fill paper, and then they come and there's no longer paper. Say, what happens to the paper? Give me a paper. It's not like, oh no, you now need to use a smartphone to sign in or something like that. So you need to give people that soft infrastructure to flow, right? To flow with the process, to understand the process, and to also guide them, handhold them, because it's all a digital transformation agenda, right? You need to have your own digital transformation movement, right? So which is where and I'll say the most important in all the hows now is digital literacy and skills, which is the base. But apart from that, it is actually the soft infrastructure that determines the survival of a product or your innovation or your move. Now let me tie this up to how it affects you going forward in your career and all that. When you are going forward now, thinking about maybe looking for a job or maybe thinking about growing in your career, you now need to look particularly for these opportunities. Do they allow you to explore your digital technology skills that you might have learned? Do you see a part for you in the organization that you're working with that you can really learn and grow and exploit some of their solid infrastructure? Because a lot of these companies already have some really good solid infrastructure, maybe internet service, maybe computers, that is being underutilized, So you can ask yourself, hey, can I make use of this in this place? Do they provide me a way where I can take advantage of these things? Right? So when you identify these opportunities, you can actually now innovate. Maybe you see opportunity in where, say you can sell insurance via Instagram. Who says it's not possible? It's possible. People can. So Jack Dorsey, the owner of Twitter, sold his first tweet for about what, $2 billion. So why can't you insure that tweet? But that's on a very big scope. And that's a joke too. But why not? Why not? It's all about innovating in that direction. And the question here is, as Kofi Annan, as the former UN Secretary General, said in 2015, he said technology can change the world. Now, my question to you is, will you be the one to champion that change? Technology is already disrupting the entire economic activities that we're doing. The question to you is, will you be the one to champion that disruption? Right? And you don't have to be a tech guy or a tech person or software engineer like myself to do that. And I'll help you with a very simple example. This is a real practical example. I know someone who knows nothing about softwares, knows nothing about tech, or he knows stuff, and he has the basic digital skills, basic digital literacy, and the skills, right? And he was the person to propose to his own company then that why not we get a Wi-Fi and all that, And then they got a Wi-Fi, and then he doesn't know about networking or about Wi-Fi or anything like that. He only knows that there's an opportunity if this company is more connected, right? And like that, he came up with that. They got Wi-Fi, they connected the company and all of that. And after then, he brought up another suggestion, and they took it, adapting what they call an ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. So that's a tool for internal planning and organization in the company, and he doesn't know anything about software engineering. And the funny thing that happens is he was now promoted to head of ICT in the organization. And he told them that, gentlemen, I don't know anything about ICT. Why are you promoting me to head of ICT? But the reason why he was promoted to head of ICT is because he was championing the ICT course in the organization. And still today, he still doesn't have a CCNA or has no certification in any programming language. Right? So you don't have to be a full tech person to drive a digital transformation in your own economic sphere. As long as you can show that it will either make them more money or save them more money or make them more competitive in some way, right? And you can prove it, they are always going to invest in whatever digital technology that supports their economic activity, and that's where you come in as the champion. So I hope this has been very, very beneficial to you. And you could take one or two things. If you have any question, you can shoot me a question on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at TechNonso. That's TECHNONSO. Shoot me a DM or tell me give me feedback. I like feedback, so give me a feedback on what you think, or even broader scopes on this subject that I may not have touched. Just give me feedbacks on the entire thing. Thank you so much, and I wish you well.